From the mists of myth, a city was born, destined to forge an empire that would shape the world. Legend tells us of two brothers, Romulus and Remus, suckled by a she-wolf, who founded a small settlement on the banks of the Tiber River. This was the humble beginning of Rome. From a simple city-state, it grew, fueled by ambition and military might. The early Romans were tough and pragmatic, establishing a republic governed by elected officials and a powerful senate. This new form of government gave its citizens a voice, a revolutionary concept that would echo through the ages. Rome's ambition soon brought it into conflict with the other great power of the Mediterranean, Carthage. The struggle for dominance erupted into a series of conflicts known as the Punic Wars. For over a century, these two titans clashed. We remember Hannibal, the brilliant Carthaginian general, who famously led his army, complete with war elephants, across the Alps to strike at the heart of Italy. Despite initial devastating losses, Rome's resilience was unbreakable. They learned, they adapted, and they fought back with a ferocity that stunned their enemies. By the end of the Third Punic War, Carthage was utterly destroyed. Rome stood alone, the undisputed master of the Mediterranean. With each victory, its territory expanded, absorbing new lands and diverse cultures, from Spain to Greece and North Africa. The Republic was growing rich and powerful, but the seeds of its own destruction were being sown within its success. As the Republic's border swelled, so did the ambitions of its generals. A new figure emerged, a man whose name would become synonymous with power and conquest, Gaius Julius Caesar. A brilliant military strategist and a charismatic politician, Caesar led his legions on a brutal and successful campaign in Gaul, modern-day France. His victories brought immense wealth and land to Rome, but they also gave him an army fiercely loyal to him personally, not to the Senate. The politicians back in Rome grew fearful of his rising power. They ordered him to disband his army and return as a private citizen. Caesar faced a choice: obey and face political ruin, or defy the Senate and plunge the Republic into civil war. In 49 BC, he made his fateful decision. He led his 13th legion across the Rubicon, a small river marking the boundary of Italy. Crossing it with an army was an act of treason. This was a point of no return. The phrase "crossing the Rubicon" has ever since meant making an irreversible decision. Civil war erupted. Caesar's hardened veterans proved unstoppable against the forces of the Senate, led by his former ally, Pompey the Great. After a series of decisive victories, Caesar returned to Rome not as a traitor, but as a conqueror. He was declared dictator for life, effectively ending the 500-year-old republic. But his absolute power was short-lived. A group of senators, fearing he would declare himself king, conspired against him. On the Ides of March, 44 BC, Julius Caesar was assassinated on the floor of the Senate, leaving behind a power vacuum and a legacy that would forever alter the course of Roman history. The assassination of Caesar did not restore the Republic. Instead, it triggered another round of brutal civil wars. From the chaos, one man emerged victorious: Caesar's adopted son and heir, Octavian. After defeating his rivals, Mark Antony and Cleopatra, Octavian masterfully consolidated his power. He avoided the title of king or dictator, instead presenting himself as the first citizen, or princeps. In 27 BC, the Senate bestowed upon him the title Augustus, meaning the revered one. This moment marks the official end of the Roman Republic and the birth of the Roman Empire. Augustus was now the first Roman emperor. His reign ushered in an era of unprecedented peace and prosperity known as the Pax Romana, the Roman peace. For over 200 years, the vast empire, stretching from Britain to Mesopotamia, was largely free from major conflict. This stability allowed culture, trade, and engineering to flourish. It was a golden age. Majestic cities rose across the empire, connected by a remarkable network of durable roads. Massive aqueducts, marvels of engineering, carried fresh water to bustling urban centers, enabling populations to grow and thrive. And in the heart of Rome itself, the grandest spectacle of all was built: the Colosseum. This colossal amphitheater could hold over 50,000 spectators, who gathered to watch gladiatorial contests, animal hunts, and public executions. It was a symbol of Rome's power, its engineering genius, and its thirst for entertainment. Under the rule of a series of emperors, from the wise to the wicked, the empire reached its zenith, a superpower of the ancient world whose influence was felt by millions. But no empire lasts forever. The very size that made Rome so mighty also made it difficult to govern. The Pax Romana began to fray at the edges. The 3rd century saw the empire plunged into a crisis. A seemingly endless cycle of civil wars, with ambitious generals murdering emperors to seize the throne, created constant political instability. The economy faltered under the immense cost of maintaining a massive army and a sprawling bureaucracy. Debasement of currency led to runaway inflation, impoverishing ordinary citizens. The empire had simply overextended itself. Its long borders were a constant drain on manpower and resources, making it vulnerable. Sensing this weakness, various groups, whom the Romans collectively called barbarians, began to press on the frontiers. Goths, Vandals, and Franks launched increasingly bold raids, sometimes deep into Roman territory. The once invincible legions were stretched thin, fighting wars on multiple fronts. Amidst this turmoil, a new emperor, Constantine, rose to power. In a pivotal moment, he embraced a new faith, Christianity. For centuries, Christians had been a persecuted minority. Constantine's conversion transformed the empire's religious landscape. He moved the capital from Rome to a new city in the east, Byzantium, which he renamed Constantinople. This strategic move shifted the empire's center of gravity eastward, recognizing the growing importance and wealth of the eastern provinces. While these reforms gave the empire temporary reprieve, they also deepened the divide between the Latin-speaking West and the Greek-speaking East. The final act was drawing near. The western part of the empire was crumbling. Waves of barbarian invasions intensified, driven by the westward push of the Huns from Central Asia. Entire provinces were lost. Rome itself, the Eternal City, was sacked by the Visigoths in 410 and again by the Vandals in 455. These were devastating psychological blows from which the West could not recover. The emperors in the West became little more than puppets, controlled by powerful barbarian generals. The final, symbolic end came in 476 AD, when the last Western Roman emperor, a young boy ironically named Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the Germanic chieftain Odoacer. Odoacer did not bother to name a successor. He simply sent the imperial insignia to the emperor in Constantinople. The Western Roman Empire had ceased to exist. Though its legions fell silent and its cities crumbled, the legacy of Rome is all around us. It endures in our languages, with Latin forming the root of Spanish, French, Italian, and influencing a vast portion of English vocabulary. It lives on in our legal systems, founded on Roman principles of justice and law. Its engineering marvels still stand as a testament to its ingenuity. The story of Rome is a timeless epic of ambition, power, and collapse, a reminder of both the heights humanity can achieve and the fragility of even the greatest civilizations. Its shadow stretches across 2 millennia, a permanent and profound influence on the world we inhabit today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories from our past.